Hey everyone, welcome to our chat with we've got Jessica, we've got Carrie, we've got Natasha, we've got Alicia here to talk about It's in His Kiss by Julia Quinn. So hey everyone.
Hey. I can't believe we're on book 7.
I know.
Yay!
Oh my God. One more.
So exciting. One more. It's been so exciting to read these books and then to get to know everybody through the Discords and the chats and all of that. It's been super fun. So thank you to everybody who's been a part of it. We can go around and this was my week and I may have fallen off of the Discord. I deeply apologize because, it's been a week. And we can go around, kind of everyone give their initial star rating, and then we can jump right into this one. So, Christina, what did you think?
I think we lost Jess.
Oh, maybe she'll come back. She's in I think isn't Ohio in a snow thing right now? So maybe she's having some internet issues.
Maybe, yeah. This one, honestly, I tried my best to get into it, and
okay, sorry, parents.
No, I couldn't get into this one. I listened to it on audio.
Just kicked me out.
You're breaking up, Jess. Are you good? I think
she's frozen.
Yeah, she's frozen.
No.
I listened to it on audio, and I like the beginning with the backdrop and the story of Gareth and his issues with his father. Mm-hmm. It's like almost every guy has, parent issues.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And Hyacinth, I don't know. I think her character was so bland in this book. The romance felt forced. It didn't feel authentic. It didn't feel I don't know. The sex scene was rushed when they finally had sex. She wasn't really into it. I liked her relationship with Lady D. Loved that. Mm-hmm. Loved it. But yeah, I don't know. I wasn't feeling it. I don't know what it is about Hyacinth. Maybe because we didn't have any exposure to her in the beginning, that I just felt a lack of connection with her. But Hyacinth. Maybe because we didn't have any I hear myself. To her in the beginning.
Is that somebody's got it?
Yeah,
somebody's got their volume up.
Or
I guess I would rate it a 3, maybe a 2.7.
Mm-hmm.
Not my favorite.
Oh no! What did you think, Carrie?
I'm gonna go a little higher than that. Granted, it wasn't my favorite out of all of them, but I think it rounded out for me about a 3.7 because I did really like the heist of them trying to find the jewels. It gave me a little bit more. But in the end, I really think it was comparable, as since the dad was the villain and in The Duke and I, the dad was the villain. I think to myself, the villain in the first book was a lot more evil, I guess, than the villain in this one. So I think I was kind of comparing the two, which I like The Duke and I so much better. And then also at the very end, when he proposed again, it was a little cheese ball for me. So, for me, that's why I ended up rounding to 3.7, but I still think the story was pretty decent. But yeah, there was definitely things that I didn't like as much as some of the other ones.
Okay, I can see that. What did you think, Natasha? Because you're making faces.
I gave it a 3.75. And I'll round it up to 4 on Goodreads. I was surprised by this book. Going in, I didn't think that Hyacinth had any depth to her. Because like Chris said, we just didn't know her. We've known her from a young child and not really learned anything about her. I think what pushed the book up for me most definitely is Lady Danbury. I freaking love Lady Danbury and her character in this book.
Right.
Yes.
The relationship that she had, the push that she gave her grandson Gareth to, hey boy, step up and say what you got to say and do what you got to do.
Yep.
When she told her to show her cleavage, pull your dress down.
She was just She was a good hot mess. I loved her in this book. And I was surprised by the end because I had an appreciation for Hyacinth that I didn't think I would have had without this book. So it was nice to get to learn a little bit more about her. I am curious to read the second epilogue because I really want to know what her daughter is moving on.
Yes. Yeah, it was. I read it because it was in mine, and at that point I was like, I'm gonna find out what's going on because I've read this whole thing, so I'm gonna go with it. I did like in the epilogue how it's like in the first epilogue that's in there, she like finds it and then she's like, I'm gonna just put it back.
Right.
Yeah. Like it seems like that was such like a kind of like a younger kid move. Like Hyacinth has grown up and she's done all this stuff, but this seems like little Hyacinth, and it's like, ooh.
Right.
Now you're back. Oh, there's Jess. So I gave it 3.5. Just there were certain things about it that I just wasn't my favorite, but there were things about this that I did really like. So I mean, it's not
like
what did I like? So I liked Lady Danbury. I liked her conversations with her mother. Like when her mom was talking about how when she had Hyacinth and she was the only, her father was already dead, the husband was already dead. Like this gave her like a reason that I thought was great. And then at the towards the end when Violet says like you need to basically go get your man, I was like, okay, again, Violet to the rescue. Here we go.
Violet and Lady D should be like best friends. They would
right.
Tag team.
Well, and in the show, it seems like they are. Whereas like in the books, it's like they're not.
They don't interact.
Like paths cross much. But here in the books, it's like, in the books, so I did like that about that. There was one other thing that I did like. There was one other thing I liked when I wrote it down. But what did you think, Jess? Now that we're back, can you hear us?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I switched to my phone because the internet is not cooperating here. I gave it 4.5. I completely missed what you all gave it, so I don't know what the vibe is going on tonight.
You rated it the highest.
Really?
Yes.
I just loved the romance. I do think it felt like not a Bridgerton book, because Hyacinth is so like distant from the rest of the family except for Gregory, and we even haven't seen him at all, so I felt like it wasn't like the other books, and we didn't get to see a lot of them except for like Daphne, but she's already like married with 4 kids, and Anthony, who's like, oh good, take her off my hands, like
right
camaraderie like we had before. But I really love the romance. So
can we talk about the scene with Gregory? Because I felt like with the scene with Gregory, it's like he's had very few scenes throughout all these series, right? He's in one of the books where he comes to beat someone up. And then in this one, it's like he's going to stand up and be Hyacinth's friend. And I feel like that was kind of to remind us, like, there's one more people, one more, you've already done all these and now we have like one more to come. So I just feel like his scene was there for that reason, to like remind us there's one more to come. And I do think he was trying to take on the Anthony role of like protecting Hyacinth, where, because Anthony's so much older than her and he's already married with kids and doing his own thing. I do feel like the Gregory was trying to step up and like show some initiative. So that's my opinion on Gregory.
You mentioned Anthony's moment when he whispered under his breath, like, "Oh,
thank God."
Oh my God, that was so freaking hilarious. And what was it? Who said like, you must not have any daughters, or what was that part where it was like, you must not sisters, because you would understand why I'm doing this at this point.
Yeah, he's the last one.
Yeah, I agree in this one, Annie, that they did have like more adventure, I think, than some of the previous books. Like with we're going to solve this mystery and we're going to break into the house. Like, I don't think Daphne would have broken into a house. I don't think Francesca would have broken into a house. I feel like she definitely had the most chutzpah, I guess, of all the other ones, where she was like, I'm gonna wear pants, and I'm gonna go break into this house and find this necklace, and I'm gonna solve this mystery. Yeah. Whereas I didn't see some of the other female characters doing that.
I had a question. Why is it no one has gotten really caught yet? Like, we've been through 7 books, and no one's been walked in on, caught. Like of course there was the B scene where like they walked in on them, but I want someone to flat out be like, caught you, like you're caught. Girl.
No, you don't remember the Duke and I, when Anthony caught Daphne with her boob out.
Well, I mean, like really caught, though. Like really, like I walked in on you. You guys are full on going at it. Like I would think someone would notice that she was missing for so many like nights. Like no one cared to be like, hey, where is Hyacinth? Yeah. She's like gone for how many nights? And then like no one knows where she's at. I don't know. Just something I kind of noticed.
Yeah, it does seem like since they are under so. She's the youngest one. No one cares. Yeah. Oh no, go ahead.
About her.
Yeah, I feel like she's the youngest. It's like that thing where it's the youngest kid. They're like, we'll see what happens.
In your head, like she's always that little girl. You know what I mean? So it's hard to picture her as like a woman. I don't know. Maybe that was my like disconnection with it. Just never vibed with her. I don't know. I never.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely see like envisioning her as like a grown up, and then because she's so young in the beginning, and then now where we're watching the show where she's so little and not little, but in the show it's kind of like, oh, and now I'm supposed to believe that you're like gonna seduce this guy. What did we think of Gareth as like a hero?
Well, he was troubled.
He was okay. At the end, he was cheesy for me. Like when he proposed the second time, it was just a little cheesier than I was used to from the Bridgerton series. I don't know. The second proposal, I could have maybe done without.
Yeah.
The unpopular opinion, though. Sorry, guys.
I felt bad for him when his father wanted him to marry the girl that had like the disability and like sign his like signature on the marriage, and he was like why are you doing this to me? And when he didn't, like before he found out, you know what I mean, that he wasn't his dad, I just thought that was like so cool. And then like even to find out that was his brother's son, like damn, you're messed up, you would do that to your nephew, like.
Right.
So do you think that he knew that it was his brother's son?
Yeah.
Or I think okay.
I think so. But Lady D knew, right?
I don't think so.
I thought the only person that knew was Isabella or the grandmother.
That's what I mean. The grandma. The grandma knew.
Right.
You don't think he knew?
I don't think so. I mean, because he did say, like, didn't he say something about
but
it?
He looked like him.
Maybe the mom had a type.
Did we never figure out in this story what happened to his real dad? Like, did they just kind of just say, like, did he end up dying? Like, did we figure out what happened to actually his biological father?
I think he just died because it says they had like a relationship. He was like, my uncle took me and did these things. And so then I think he just died. Was what I got. I don't think there was any like drama around it.
Right.
Well, I just want to put it out there. I think the second proposal, I didn't think it was cheesy. I actually quite melted a little bit.
Oh.
And I marked it as my favorite because I feel like he was a little bit more eloquent with his words than we'd seen in previous books. I don't know. This was the romantic piece that I wait for. So I'm just going to read it real quick because it's a paragraph.
Yeah.
Says he was staring up at her, his eyes glowing clear and blue in the dim light of the street lamps. I'm a visual person, so I'm there. I'm in the street. I'm watching. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm asking you to marry me because I love you, he said, because I cannot imagine living my life without you. I want to see your face in the morning and then at night and 100 times in between. I want to grow old with you. I want to laugh with you. and I want to sigh to my friends about how managing you are, all the while secretly knowing I am the luckiest man in town. I mean,
it was.
I was like,
the one. Yes.
You know what? And here's the thing, Natasha. I'm going to tell you this. I heard it on audio. So reading that sounded a heck of a lot better than having an audiobook tell me this.
Yeah.
And the way she said it was just not that great. You should have been the audiobook person. Because you just nailed it right there.
The audiobook for this, but I was also reading along for certain parts. So when we got to that part, I was reading along with that. So
because the audiobook did not do it justice like you just did. I mean, I'll have to reread it just to get that part, maybe. I don't know. I feel like the audiobook could sway sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought it was precious. That was just, it's like finally somebody is declaring they actually love you. I mean, I think we'd seen that maybe once or twice in the other books, but most of them was like, oh, well, we got caught. Now I have to marry you. This guy's like, I love you. Even when you try to manage me all day long, I still love you and I want to be with you. So I don't know. I thought it was precious.
I did like that aspect of Gareth, that he also didn't try to change her. He wasn't, he was saying like, I'm going to love you as you are. I'm not going to try to change you. And I did like that portion of him. I thought she needed someone who was going to accept that of her, like, and not try to fit, the square pegs in the round hole. Yeah. Yeah, I did like that. My other question about Gareth as a hero was when he said, I'm just going to try to compromise her soon, basically. I thought that was some shady.
That was shady.
Business. Like, I mean, I don't know what anyone else, if like anyone in the chat thought that, but I thought that was kind of some shady business where he had me until he, like, I feel like he had me with his whole thing with his dad, and then he goes to live with Lady Danbury, and he's, this bachelor living in the bachelor lodgings, and then I actually wrote down page 196 where Hyacinth, he's yelling at Hyacinth basically about how she didn't get how lucky she was because he was so alone. And I was like, oh my God, Gareth, I'm into you.
Yeah.
And then he's like, and now I need to compromise her so I can marry her sooner. And I'm like, what? No, don't do that. That is shady.
You had me at hello.
Yes. And then you went and ruined it by trying to like compromise her sooner. So that was like, I did love how at the end, I feel like he did redeem himself, Natasha, and that was a good, like, I did love that. I was so mad about that.
And then also maybe somebody in the comments can figure this out too. I think it was something that Alicia had once mentioned to me was like, what did he do for the part of when he got kicked out at 18 to when he was did he go to Lady Danbury's house? Like, how did he make money from point A to point B to be, you know what I mean? Like, he got disowned. So I don't know if he had money to or he raked his way across the town, but just curious if anybody knows, what did he end up doing? Right. Like, did he rake his way across town so he could have a place to stay? Yeah.
His grandma took him in.
Okay.
Grandma took him in. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I was curious because I was like, what happened? And maybe I just missed it, but I was like, hey.
I mean,
cool.
Yeah. Again, I just feel like he just didn't, his being shady just annoyed me. But my heart did break for him.
So Jess is having some internet issues, but if you guys want to interact with her in the chat box, she can she can chat back to you guys in there, and then we'll talk here, and she could talk to you guys in the chat.
Yeah. Oh no, her internet. That's a bummer.
There's a storm going on right now in her area, yes?
Probably. Ohio's always snowing too, so probably get some inclement weather.
It's no fun. What else? Those are my big things with him that I was not super into. It did break my heart when when they were standing outside and then his dad basically threw him under the bus saying like,
Yeah,
you're
like
already
you're still
engaged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a jackass move.
It was, and I don't know. It does seem like they're all really bad dads. Like the only good dad died young.
Oh.
Yeah, the only good dad dies young.
We got Araminta, whatever the hell her name is.
I have another thing about Garett. Is that remember when they had their first kiss and she ran away and he told her, "You can do better"? I was like,
that's mean.
Yeah, it sounds horrible on audio too.
Yeah. Oh, you were on audio? Was that? Is it a female or?
Yeah,
dry. I don't know. The audiobook, the next book, since this is the last book, I'm actually gonna read the book. I'm not gonna do the audio. I think the audio like steals the emotion and
of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they were like, "You could do better." And I was just like, dang, she's never kissed anybody before. How could like, I'm sorry, like the fact that she met lips, I'm like, you met the standard. You guys met lips. Like, hello, if I'm first kissing someone, I'm not going to be an expert at it, you know? Even though he should have just said like, that was okay, instead of going like, ooh, I expected more. We could do better. Yeah, you suck. But I do like sometimes where the hero or heroine messes up and then there's like a redemption, like, oh, and then they ended up doing this and it totally redeemed everything, you know? So I'm okay with faults, but I want them to be like remedied within a couple of chapters or somewhere in the end or something, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you feel like he did get enough of the grovel? Do you feel like he groveled enough?
I don't, it's hard to remember. Like for me, it just feels like then they ended up at that point in time, didn't they start deciphering the book? And then when they started deciphering the book, they were kind of aligning allegiances at that point. And then like, they were starting to figure each other out. So it was almost like a miscommunication trope, which I'm not a huge fan of, but it's okay though. Like this one, it kind of worked for it. So so it worked well in this one, but I'm usually not a huge miscommunication trope type of girl.
Annie says that's not how she read it. She read it as, "You are so full of passion and I want an excuse to kiss you again." Girl, well, the audiobook does not say it.
I mean, the way, like, it might have been like that's the way he interpreted it, but the way she received it was like, I was crap at kissing. So bye. Like, it definitely has like that. One person says something, but one person means something, and the other person did believe something else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I also think he should have been a little bit more like, "Let me teach you," because I would have been into that.
Right.
Instead of him saying like, "That was not great," if he would have been like, "Let's try this again, and I'll teach you a different way."
And are saying that it's more like a flirty thing. Like it was like more like a endearing kind of like shade instead of like a direct shade, like
okay,
like you suck, but more like probably like we're gonna work on it, I guess.
But here's the thing though, she dwelled on it afterwards. She was like, "Oh, I was a terrible kisser." Like if maybe she didn't dwell on it, then I would have like moved aside from it, but she kind of felt bad about it. So I was like, I don't know, but I had the audiobook, so it could have been just a misinterpretation of the audiobook. Who knows?
Yeah. Jess said this is the first book that she read physically too, so she thinks that's why she likes it better.
Right. And I think that when you do an audiobook, the audio person puts their spin on it. So then they're interpreting what you're going to hear. So yeah, agreed.
Yeah. There was something else. Sugar snaps. Oh, we were talking about this, I think, earlier about how after they, consummate the relationship, he's all like, "I need to take a nap." And she's like, "Let's go break into a house." And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, that's not probably what he expected your reaction to be. Like, you're giving him your flower, and now you want to go break into a house. Whereas, like, he probably expects you to be a little bit more like cuddly, like more feminine over this.
I'm not gonna lie, I was totally down for that. Like, I'm okay with, I'm like any sort of like mischief or trouble, like that. I feel like that is my like kindred spirit. Like, let's go do this now. Let's go like kick over, kick this
I did
or
like
whatever.
Yeah, I liked it too.
I did. I liked it. It was so different from the other ones, right? I mean, well, we had Francesca, who'd obviously been in this rodeo before, but then, you know, you've got Daphne and Eloise, who is just kind of like, oh my gosh, this was it. Yay. And now we need to like cuddle and you go sleep in your own room. Whereas, you know, Hyacinth is like, and now we are going to go break into a house. Oh, you know, like I liked that part. I liked that her personality in that, you know, in that thing. And I also feel like guys are just like that. Like, I mean, it's like, you do this and then you just got to take a nap. And it's like, women are like, no, we got stuff to do. Like, I still got to make dinner. I got to take care of our kids. Like, I got to do a load of laundry. I got shit to do. I'm not going to go take a nap.
Yeah, but not your first time. Like, your first time, don't you want to cuddle your first time? Like, you just want to get up and go? I don't know. I thought that was kind of like...
No, I think you got to get up and go. Well,
it depends on the person. I think if you have a lot of energy, you're going to, like, not want to sit there. You're so excited. Like, you did this. Woohoo! But I really loved the heist element, the deciphering the book element, the like just her trying to translate everything, and then like the clues. I thought that was I love those types of stories where there's like a little mystery to it, which I really did enjoy that.
I did. I liked that it was the grandmother who was the one who had the jewels and how she was like saving, you know, gonna take them and hide them to save them from the awful grandfather guy or great grandfather guy.
Right.
And I liked how he was gonna be able to use them to like get out of debt or whatever he was gonna do with them. It would be a way for him to be like financially solvent. So I liked that part.
Right.
I did. I also think, I want to talk about this too. So the book that she's reading, the Mrs. Butterworth and the Pigeons, that is where these pigeons come from with this. Okay, I'm a little bit behind on this. Yes, I am so behind on this. So this is where it comes with these pigeons and the graphic novel that Julia Quinn is doing with her sister that's coming out next year. So could anyone ever figure out what the book they were reading was about? No? Okay.
Because like I put bits and pieces in there, I think, like just to kind of like keep you interested. But yeah, I
was trying to figure it out because then they're pecked to death by pigeons. And I'm like, first of all, there'd be a lot of pigeons to peck somebody to death, right? Like,
those are some aggressive pigeons.
Yeah. Like, what, are you covered in bread?
They're on steroids. Those are not normal pigeons.
I agree with you. The Butterworth book was very hilarious. I thought it was really funny too.
I was trying to figure out what was happening in it. And the lady, she's on a cliff, and how is she getting up this cliff? And then someone is pecked to death with the pigeons. And I was trying to figure out, I literally went back and forth a couple times. Like, am I supposed to understand what's going on in this book? Like with the pigeons? So, and then when they found the other version, they found like the continuation of it or something in the library, and she steals it. I was like, oh, that's kind of cute.
That's what Jess said. Jess just said the same thing.
Oh,
yeah, that's super cute. Yeah. What did you guys think when he talked to his dad and he didn't really know why he was marrying her? I thought that was really interesting. I don't know. What were your thoughts on it? You guys remember that?
Sorry, which part?
When he was talking to his dad and he didn't really know why he was marrying her.
Oh, like when the father said you're marrying her because of me, like everything you do is because of me, like to spite him.
Right. Yeah. But he didn't really know why he was marrying her.
I think he did. He said that he knew before. Like like what he had with her had nothing to do with his dad. His dad's like, yeah, okay. Right. But by the way, you're still engaged to marry the other girl. Yeah.
Right.
His dads, they're a piece of work, boy. I tell you. Jesus.
I'm gonna not lie. I wish he got a better comeuppance on the end. Like I just felt like it was just kind of like, and then he walked in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
he did die. So,
we were going to do the first. Are we doing still like the first half, like the book? I think we've kind of like wrapped the book up.
I mean, we got the agenda of the book.
Okay.
Yeah, if you have anything else, feel free. Whatever.
Did we miss anything, guys, for the book? Like, what do you think? Is there anything you guys want to talk about?
Yeah, is there anything?
I know, because we want to talk episodes 1 through 3, and then we want to be off by 8 so that people can take part in the Twitter, the live Twitter thing that's going on with Netflix and Bridgerton. We want to support our show.
If you haven't watched the show 1 through 3 yet, hop off if you don't want to be spoiled.
We will talk the rest next week because I haven't had a chance. I know Natasha's watched the whole thing, and so has Carrie, and I'm only on 1 through 3. I haven't gotten to the rest yet. So.
Yeah, I only started 4, so basically 1 through 3 is it for me. But I did see someone criticize how they all have bad parents. All their parents suck.
Yeah.
Right? Has anybody had
Violet? Violet's the only one.
Violet's like the only one. But like everybody's parents
is terrible.
Or died, right? Was it the last book that her mom died in like a rainstorm or something? Remember? Her mom died and she had a good stepmom and sister. Am I on the right?
You're on the right track.
I'm on the right. Don't ask me the name of the book because they all blend together at the
right. That was Kate.
Had a great stepmom.
Kate had the good stepmom, and her mom died in the storm. Yes, good memory.
Yeah.
Heather, just to let you know, I've not watched episode 8 yet. That's the only one I have not watched.
Oh, no. We're not there yet.
I know. I'm supposed to text her as soon as I'm done with all the episodes.
Harriet better zip it because she be blowing it up. And she asked me today, did you see the scene? And I'm like, I'm not even answering her because she's going to be like, oh, because this happened. Harriet, you better behave yourself.
I'm not, I've been trying to not do spoilers because I do want, I mean, obviously we've read the book, so like we know, and like it is cool to see the characters. So let's talk about
Harriet.
Well, can we lay it out? Like, we'll talk episode 1 first, then episode 2. So if you guys have not seen, if you've seen episode 1, hang out with us. Then we'll go episode 2, and then we'll go episode 3. So then if you guys haven't seen it, you could jump off real fast.
Oh, Jess went up to 5. I thought yesterday you were only like up to 2.
That girl.
3, so she's up to 5. Okay.
Yeah. So episode 1, first impressions. Go.
Freaking Anthony by the tree.
Beautiful.
Is that how it was gonna open? I was like, oh damn. All right.
Yeah. And the poor porter or whatever, the delivery guy that had to stand there and like act like he was just like taking the apples off the apple tree. Like the poor tree was just like all the fruit was coming off.
And then Eloise screaming up the stairs for Daphne. If that's how you're gonna open, that is how you open.
Yeah, that's how I know my house.
Yeah, I loved it. She's like, got her. I just yelled up the stairs for her.
Yep.
I do think they're showing Anthony as like very rakish, whereas like in the books they talk about like Anthony was a rake, but here they're like he naked on a couch with the opera singer, and I'm here for it. I'm not mad.
His love interest, the opera singer, is so like in depth, like so. He's so obsessed with her, and
I think
seemed to have such a big part in the book. Like she had I feel like it was like a snippet.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's gonna be. I could see her turning into some sort of villain, but I haven't seen. You know what I mean? Like that's But Jess mentioned something really interesting where she thought that Anthony is a lot meaner in the series, and that Violet, and she was kind of mean to Violet. So that's what Jess had mentioned up there.
Yeah,
I do. And like when she came into his study and she's like, well, why are you still keeping a house here? And he's like, well, why shouldn't I, or whatever. And then I do think he was kind of a jerk to her.
Yeah, he wasn't the mama's boy that we pictured.
No. And I also
Heather has a question.
Oh geez. Right when he comes directly from that thing and he's riding up on the horse, like you got to think like there's got to be some kind of aroma there.
It's fresh air. It's like he's in fresh air. How would you know that? He got like fresh, clean as he's riding through the. You know, I always think of.
Well, Daphne wouldn't know what that smell is at this point. She would be like, "What?"
Right.
Yeah, and I did like when Nigel Burbrook came into the equation, and then she's trying to get away from him. Well, she's trying to get away from him, and then she runs into.
He was like obsessed. Like, slow down, OCD.
Yeah,
he was a creep. He was straight up creep.
Right.
I was like, oh.
First impressions of Lady D was fierce. She was just fierce. I know she's gonna be
queen. The queen, though. Queen.
I said the same thing. I thought I made in the book. I'm like, snorting
and she called it snuff, and I'm like, I had to look up what snuff was, and then somebody was like, "Oh, it's tobacco." I'm like, "You don't sniff tobacco.
You not up your nose.
Not your nose.
You can sniff tobacco." I'm like, "But that's not gonna get you high." Like,
what is it?
White powder.
I need to know what it is.
Spoon thingamajigger. I don't know, but look, that queen is no joke.
And she sent him to go get some fresh stuff. So
she said this was old. It's been sitting out.
I didn't remember there being any snorting in the book. So
somebody's saying it's tobacco. It's snuff. I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like, well, I mean, she's part of like the made up Shondalized version of this. So like they can kind of do whatever they want with her. There's she's a total clean slate. I think it's funny how she talks about when the Featherington fell in front of her. And then she's like, "You are a diamond of the first water," to Daphne. And Daphne's like, "Yay." It just seems like she has so much power over these people's lives. You know,
so Beth says she doesn't think that we need all those scenes with the queen. I kind of disagree, and only because I think the queen brings a level of like, she shows you the different tiers of hierarchy. Like, why is it so important that these people are dukes, and what is their purpose? Why are they at these balls? And what is I kind of think it gives it that more regal effect, and it kind of gives them like purpose. You get what I'm saying? Like, tiers of why they're why Marina comes from the farmlands and she's staying with the Featheringtons, who are like upper class, and they go to these high balls to be on the market from men that have a lot of money, who are then some of them only recognized by the queen as like higher. I don't know. I think it kind of gives you that background. I think it's good.
And I think they had to have like this element. I mean, because it's Shondaland and it's on Netflix. I think there had to be, you've got to have the naked people. You've got, I think that they were like, we need to bring in some other more over the top kind of character, to do that.
I think Lady Danbury was over the top enough. I mean, I can appreciate the queen being in there, but I don't know that. I mean, because her attitude was kind of getting on my nerves at one point. So I was like, oh my God, you just need to stop. You are not all that. But I mean, she's rude, so.
Here's the thing too, is they could be doing the extra scenes with the queen because of people who have read the book and they're so used to how the book flows without this character that they feel like they have to add the extra character or the extra scenes to really implement her in the dialogue. Because
we gotta remember too, like when we find out that Lady Whistledown is no longer Lady Whistledown, who's going to be stirring the pot and bringing the drama? It might be the queen.
True. You have to have that extra fallback villain that maybe.
Yeah, you have to have that extra villain, especially I think in a show to keep it going. I don't know.
Right. There, honestly though, there's so many potentials for that everywhere.
I was going to say there's a lot of people that could fill in.
Oh my gosh.
don't you feel like ever since we found out who Lady Whistledown is, the books have kind of like been like, okay, now what? Like now who's going to be the narrator? Now who's going to be showing the drama or having like the gossip? And now who's going to be bringing like it to the forefront? I don't know. I think that.
Well, here's the thing. They don't have to, like, when they get to the 5th season or whatever, they don't have to tell you who Lady Whistledown is. They can draw that all the way out till season 8.
True.
So I feel like
they're going to tell you.
You think so? You think they'll tell us if they keep going with the seasons?
I just watched all 8 episodes.
Oh, okay. It's a spoiler. Sorry, girl.
Oh, okay. Then we know nothing.
When it ended, I was like, damn, okay.
Well, there is a season 2, right? Like they've had.
I know.
I
need to go tweet Chris already and be like, Chris, when is season 2 coming out? Because you all possibly cannot stop here. You made us read all 8 books. So
right.
When is the next season coming out? I don't know. I was so in love with the theatrics and the costumes and even the music. I thought was really well. It was really familiar. Like, is that a current hit?
Yes.
That was phenomenal.
First episode, they had Maroon 5.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
That third one has Billie Eilish. Yeah.
Yep.
So the only part, and I zone in. This is part of like my, I don't know what you want to call it, but Eloise's socks and stockings really started irritating me by the end. Out of all the costumes, they didn't.
You watched it back to back. Yeah, like I don't know. I watched 1 and 2 last night, and now I just watched 3 today. So they're kind of like all in a row. Two things I was not a super fan of, but obviously I'm very happy with 1 through 3. I want to talk about Marina because I'm interested as to like where that's going. Because I think I texted all of you last night when I was watching it, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Okay, so if you guys want to hop off for episode 2, we can we're going to go into episode 2 now. So if you have not read
this is episode 2. I think it is.
This is going to be episode 2 that I'm going to mention. But yeah.
Okay.
So we find out. Yeah, we find out that she's pregnant. And now she's gonna like kick into getting a husband. I'm just like, And then is episode 2 when the letter?
That's 3 because I just watched.
Never mind. I won't mention that till 3. Yeah, I've got thoughts on that too. So it just was really interesting that now I can't picture her. I can't say anymore because I've watched too much. But what do you guys think of her?
I am, up into episode 3, I was interested, like I see a farmhand, and then when she's like, I love George Crane, I was like, oh my God, we're back with the Cranes, and I loved Philip, so I was like, ooh, but too bad we know George dies. So, and then we see the Featherington lady, kind of, I did not like how the Featherington woman treated Marina in any way, obviously, and I didn't like how she was trying to restrict Penelope from seeing her, and it's like, oh, here she's coming in. At the beginning, it's like, oh, she's coming in and she's going to look like a farmhand. And then they walk in and like, oh, shit, she's beautiful. And it's like, oh, well, that's what you get, Lady Featherington, for being a jerk.
Take that.
Like now you've got to escort this, like.
Well, yeah. And I feel like that's one that could be turned into a potential villain. So I feel like that would be like.
So Chrissy says she's not liking what they're doing with the Featheringtons. Explain, Chrissy, because also Jess is saying that she's surprised how much the Featheringtons have a storyline.
Right.
Yeah.
I like the fact that they have a storyline.
I do. I like where they are. I feel like
they give you the evil stepsisters of the show, like
Yes, like they're taking these like away from the book. It's like I feel like whereas the books were so concentrating on each Bridgerton.
Because then I think
now it's like we got all these people.
Yeah, the episodes would go too fast if they didn't fill it with a little bit of drama. You know what I mean? And who better to fill it with drama than Lady D, the Featheringtons? Let's create a queen that also brings drama just to like stretch out the storyline because they have to adapt this for the screen. Like we want to see the scene with Simon and the boob. We want to see what happens with the and Simon boxing and the guy he was boxing was he that guy? The other
I don't know who
Bill?
Yeah.
I was staring at Will the whole time. I was like, Simon, move out the way.
That's a new character, by the way. So
I
that
know,
will be
I
a new
like him.
character. But here's the thing, though. I really liked when he was boxing Anthony too, because I was just like,
Yes.
Yeah.
So good.
take his A, Seabass.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
I
I'm
do love the Penelope, but the way things are going, I feel like Penelope is going to do something bad.
Oh, I need you all to hurry up and finish
God.
the
I know.
song.
It's okay, because we're going to talk a lot about this next week as well. So you guys kick into next week as well on Jess's channel, because we will talk about all
man.
the episodes. But
I
yeah,
can't wait to talk about all.
I
I'm
know,
trying
it
to
gets-
get
it
to
gets-
Oh my God, stop.
blurring together.
Order some food and watch the rest of this show. So I did a couple of little lives yesterday because I was like so excited with the show. So I'm gonna be watching more tonight. So keep an eye out because I might have some blabbering to do.
yeah,
God.
it was really interesting. I was trying to think of so on episode 2 though, guys, like try to think
Okay,
back
sorry.
for episode 2.
okay.
You know, because I'm on 7, so I'm like thinking
I
back
should've
to
made
episode 2.
Okay. So
What did you guys like the most?
I liked so I'm in episode 3, but I liked how so far we're seeing Lady Danbury and Violet like being like, oh look, they're so cute together. Like I like them playing like little matchmaker in the corner. The production of this is just when they're in these big scenes where they're outside and they've got these big tents, and I mean I think it's just fantastic. I agree with Jess that I do like Eloise.
I do.
On this.
She's gonna be one of my favorites.
I actually like her more on the show than like in her book.
Yeah.
I am not liking Daphne's weird little bangs. Like I can't figure out if those are bangs or are they just like little pieces of hair that aren't growing.
They're just like
Oh, they get all over the place.
so
Maybe that's the
you
style.
see Eloise is sitting down on the chair and she's writing, and I think it's Hyacinth comes over to her and she's like talking to her and she's like, move, get out of the way. And then she says, oh, all you're doing is like being a pain or whatever. But she's writing and watching the maids talk. Right. And then so I was thinking, okay, maybe they're going to make her Lady Whistledown. Or they're setting us up to think that she's Lady Whistledown. But then they show when she confronts the maid and she says to her, I think you're Lady Whistledown, because she was like going through all her stuff. You see that part?
Was that, yeah.
So I think Eloise is playing the detective right now. And I don't know. I like her. I like her character. I like it better than the book so far, I think.
Yeah, I like when she
have to say though, with Daphne, because I was really concerned, I didn't think that her and Simon would connect. And I'm happy to say that now that I've seen the show, I don't know if that actress would have been my first pick for Daphne, but I do think that they ended up fitting together really well. She was very innocent when they first met, and Simon is just like, fine as heck, and but then they did have this kind of banter back and forth, and it. Okay, well, I won't say what I was getting ready to say.
So here's the thing with her. I think they should have made her a touch older. Like, because I feel like, I mean, age is not a big thing, but I mean, she just feels a little young to me with some of the scenes. But I mean, Daphne. Yeah. Yeah,
the scene where he tells her she needs to go like touch herself.
Wait, like, that's not episode 2.
No, it's 3. I've only seen
3. Right. So if somebody has seen 3, log off.
We're log off. We're going to talk about episode 3. Moving on.
Moving on to episode 3.
Episode 3. We're talking about episode 3.
Again.
It's okay. I got you. So that's why
I mean, if you have something you don't want anyone to know, just never tell me. Because apparently I'm gonna,
Hold on, guys. Turn on some lights.
Anywho,
right, episode 3 now. We're talking making out. We're talking Simon beat the shit out of Nigel, fucked him up. How good was that?
Right? I thought it was great. Because Nigel's a creep. Nigel reminded me of like this pedophile type.
Yes, like she's mine.
Yeah. He did have like a
It was
creepy van
extremely
vibe.
uncomfortable.
And then he had the audacity to bring the paperwork to them at the park. Like, what was he threatening them? What did he say that he was threatening them with? Because he gave his word, and he paid for the ceremony already. Like the ceremony's already set.
But that's when Violet.
Didn't he say like, oh, nobody needs to know that she was in a park alone with
the
dude?
Trying to say that she was
really
really
her. You have to marry her, or he's gonna let it out. Like, fuck you, asshole.
Right.
I really
But I
like
love how Violet handled that, though.
right how they started the rumors.
That was
horrible. Yeah, she was. Oh yeah, but I think how it comes from is the Queen. When the Queen was like, that guy's a gossip, right? The guy she tells to go get the snuff, and then it becomes this whole circle of like, now we're going to tell the maids, and like she's like, oh, I'm going to get you, like undercover shady, but you know she got her way. And I did like how then she went to Anthony and said Anthony and said like, look what I kind of basically like, look what I did. Well, you couldn't figure this out. I took care of it, you know. And I was like, okay, Violet.
I think I love though, like, because women back there couldn't just call you out. You had to go through your back channels to get it done. Like, you couldn't just be like, I'm going to come confront you and everybody's going to believe me. Like, because she wasn't a man, like, they didn't believe her. So they had to go through Lady Whistledown, which I thought was brilliant. That was brilliant for the show.
Brilliant. Then she's sitting there doing her sewing, her little, what do you call it, embroidery. When he comes in and he's like, it's already taken care of. Like,
just doing it.
Sit down, Mama got this.
I do like their banter now, like the Simon and Daphne. I did feel like they could be a little stiff from some of the stuff we've seen, but I did like how that now she's like, you're my general, I'm gonna raise you in rank. And I'm like, oh.
What about when Violet says to Anthony, are you the brother or are you the man of this house? Like, are you going to be the rake and just be the brother and just step in when you need to? Or are you going to be the man of this house and actually take responsibility and put all your focus into the family? You know what I mean? Like, your position. Are you going to take your position, or are you just going to be playing by the sidelines and just doing, whatever you want and paying floors, apartment, when you should be looking at that list that I just placed on your desk, boo-boo.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. And then can we also talk about how in episode 2, we finally got backstory to Simon and how his dad was such a monster. And like, I think that's the problem with like us reading this book and then seeing that dad in the show. It was just like, that was like a monstrous dad. And then this one was just like, for this book was just kind of like, yeah, I guess if this dad ever comes to the show,
his dad was horrible. And to see him like that little boy and for him to be like, get out. Like, I don't want you to soil my hallways or whatever he said to him. Like, don't soil my hallways with your presence.
Right.
I felt like the whole stuttering thing was going to be more of a part of it. And here we are in episode 3. And I'm like, where's the stutter? And like, that's part of, I think, why the whole, he doesn't want to, can't, whatever, have kids. He's like, I'm not going to bring in torture a child like that with the stuttering. And I'm like, he hasn't even stuttered once. I'm on episode 3. Where's that?
Yeah,
so, okay, Natasha's like, dude.
And I can't answer to that, but yeah, I wish there was a lot more of that, because it was like the first stutter was with Lady Danbury. And have you seen any more stuttering?
No, not in season 3. People stopped doing someone's giving out little tips.
We have to stop. I'm not looking.
Don't read the chat.
Okay, yeah, only episode 3, guys. We're trying here, but there's not everybody has gone through the whole season yet. But,
so I did like at the end of episode 3, she like puts on the silver dress with the thing, and then there's the prince, and then like after the prince, she's like, that was really, I think, like a big turning point. Simon, get off the get off the pot, or what are you doing? Like,
and when she drops the fan.
Okay. Wait, when Simon Taralyn, is it Taralyn? No, wait, where is it? Well, I just saw it. Okay, Neverland Pixie. When the scene when Simon visits his father's deathbed and he calls him, did he call him like a beast or something?
No, he called him a monster. You're a monster.
Yeah. He was like, I'm gonna die with me. Like, you know, the Hastings name is going to die with me. And so now I understand. Now you can understand. Like, I think this is where the show does a better rendition of justifying Simon's need to not marry, because in the book it was like, he's not marrying. Then later on you find out why. I like the fact that they kind of give you a glimpse as to why now, and he's still saying he's not married, because now you get to understand Simon a little bit more.
Right.
Then wondering like, what the hell's the big deal? So you rather die than marry her? But now you kind of understand like how hurt he was by his dad.
Years and years of abuse.
Yeah, and the abuse was like,
it wasn't. I mean, think about it. You're 3, 4, 5 years old, and your dad's telling you like you're worthless.
You have
you're
no
nothing.
mother. You only parent you have is your dad, who's like disgusted by you.
And your nurse, who like, who knows how, you know, I mean, we saw, I like though, how they put Lady D in there as like the person that he goes to, because then she just didn't go away. Like the nurse how in the book, she just kind of went away and we didn't know where she was, but Lady D is her girl. I loved how they did that.
I like how she replaced the nurse. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So then it was just like, okay, so Lady D is my girl, which I have a feeling she is going to be a huge person in this, just throughout the series.
Natasha's not saying anything.
Oh, Natasha, I want to crack into your brain and suck out all your knowledge right now. So I know. So she's like, I know, and you don't. That's
I haven't seen all of it yet, so I'm assuming, obviously.
Like,
I will not pull an Alicia.
Oh, listen, when I watch that last episode, you guys better be up to date, because I can't hold back. I'm gonna let it all out. So start watching it tonight.
Yeah, so next Saturday is all spoilers of everything. Well, we might talk about the book for 10 minutes and the spoilers for the show for like 50. Who knows?
I just really hope they're not going to make us wait a year before the next season comes out. I know Christy said they hadn't confirmed anything yet, but and they're probably waiting to see if season 1 is going to do what they hope it's going to do, because right now it's still getting a lot of negative, vibes, a lot of backsplash from, stupid magazines that, in my opinion, don't mean shit, Vanity Fair, whatever, go kiss your own ass or whatever. But, I really hope that they see what a big deal that this is for the romance genre, and how the possibilities are endless, and how there's already a huge following. I think they can do really well with it. I hope they continue, because it would just break my heart to see them stop after season 1. I mean,
Harry was asking about the articles.
It's one of those things where it's like, I get that you want to put, like, the articles are like mentioning the rape scene and like putting the trigger warnings out there. And I get that. Like, you want to let people be aware of it, but you have to watch the episode to really like, right, Natasha? Like, I feel like
we can't talk about it right now, because we would spoil it.
Right.
But I will just say this. This is Netflix. There is some crazy shit out there on Netflix.
And it's also
they're choosing to pick on this because it's romance. Because romance is finally got a foot in the fucking door on the premiere series. And they're nitpicking. I've seen some real serious shit done in some other shows and movies. They didn't have
what's that show where the girl like commits suicide, and it was like such a big show? 10 Reasons Why. 13 Reasons Why.
Yeah.
And
see, and
what part of romance, like that adaptation, like for what? Like, and call it a rape scene when the author herself says that, when she wrote it at that time, it wasn't like that when she wrote it, and you have to think about it in that time period. So I mean, just that the way that people are like over analyzing it and stuff is just taking away from our experience. And in regards to the articles, I like the fact that my name was in it. I don't like the negative connotation on Julia's work, because for me, The Duke and I and book 6 were my favorite. So
I don't like them calling it trash. Like, you're putting something in a headline to get attention, and you're calling an entire genre trash. Why?
Are you still there? Tell us what you think.
when the person who wrote that article probably doesn't even read romance. And it pisses me off because I think that people who don't typically read this genre confuse it with smut, or if they combine smut, erotica, and romance all in one and categorize it as this, trashy thing, when it's not. I mean, historical romance for back in that time period where women were property to men. I think that Julia Quinn did a really good job at writing her series, and actually putting those words on paper for it to mean something. They forget that a lot of romance novels have plots. They have theories. It's absolutely not trash. Are there trashy books out there? Yes. There's one called Kissing the Coronavirus. That shit is trash. Okay. But, I mean, you can't. I need for them to stop categorizing it. And for me to get this upset about it, because I'm new to romance this year. I'm new to historical romance. So it just pisses me off that they're doing this for, all of this extra attention on this article.
Well,
I think it's a Vanity Fair anyway.
Here's the thing, though.
Like dark romance. Like if you want to pick on dark romance, because there's so many taboo, like fucked up, like, issues and scenes that can be related to, but this is like historical romance. Like, you know what I mean? Like layback. It's soft. It's supposed to be soft, and it's supposed to be light, and it's supposed to be fun, and it's supposed to just like take you away. You know what I mean? It's not meant to be hardcore and overanalyzed. It's supposed to be light and fun. So like, back the fuck up.
Yeah. I just don't like them using a headline to get people to like buy their shit. Like,
here's the thing, though.
You're not.
Sorry,
I'm not reading anything anymore. No, I'm not reading anything anymore because I'm over it. Well, I want to watch it. I want to enjoy it, not be like pissed off that people are being jerks about something that we don't feel passionate about.
Are we going to wrap up so that everybody can go to Twitter? Right?
Yeah. But I just wanted to say really fast, they're calling it trash, so you don't want to watch it. Like, that to me is really bothersome. Like, you're alienating people from it, and I feel like that's not something you should do when you haven't even watched it yourself.
But why? But I don't understand the why.
Because another big issue related to the show is that there are Black people in the show. And so they're trying to put as much negative connotation on the show as they possibly can to take away from the fact that it's not only historical romance, but it's now modern day art. And so they're trying to tear it down. People are trying to tear it down, I think, for that reason also. And that pisses me off because we don't live in a black and white, like, segregated world anymore. So people need to stop looking at it that way.
I'm just going to say
that, yes, it's probably always going to be there, but on such a large platform like Netflix, and to have someone like Shonda Rhimes be the producer, there's no room for that. Sit back.
And I'm just going to say my husband's watched it and he's really enjoyed it. Like, and that's from a guy's perspective. He likes that it's all different races and cultures and everything. He really enjoys that. So
the only people that have issues with there being different races are the racists.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we wanted to end at 8 so that we can all jump on this live Twitter event so we can support the show, because there has been, such some negative jackassery going on that we want to make sure that we're supporting our Julie Quinn. But so next week, so we didn't do any giveaways. So we'll do 2. We'll do 2 books in the Discord.
Yeah, we can do it in the Discord.
We'll do 2 in the Discord. And then next week, on the way to the wedding, Jess's channel.
On Jess Peace Love Books.
Yeah, it'll be our final
We'll be on Jess's channel next week, guys. I think 8 o'clock, right? I think we're going on at 8.
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks.
All right, cool. All right, guys. Good night. Enjoy the show.
Good night. Everybody.
Bye.
Bye, guys.